And welcome in to the Rob and Kale Show. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this evening. I come to you from Columbia, where there's heartbreak tonight. As my podcast co-host had some crazy words here earlier, as his Gamecocks fell to 0-6 in SEC play, losing to the Florida Gators 70-69 at home. Welcome in, Carolina Jackpot. Jackpot, what's up, buddy?
Nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
So fuck South Carolina, fuck Florida. Oh, and by the way, fuck your goddamn Clemson Tigers too, because I had a 2-team parlay with the Gamecocks covering, which they did, and your team covering the fucking spread was 14.5 on here. They were winning by goddamn like over 20 points at one point during this thing. I was watching. Of course, they let them fucking come back and cover in the backdoor fashion and win 86-72. So thanks. I appreciate that.
Tough night for the Gamecocks, Jackpot.
God damn. Well, here's one thing. That fucking coach, he shouldn't even be fucking coaching the damn team. The son of a bitch is a fucking sexual sadist. He's a piece of shit. Why he's coaching this damn team, I don't even know. They fucking make me so goddamn mad. That whole first half, they can't get back on transition. They act like their damn feet are stuck in concrete after they make a damn basket. They can't get back. They're letting them go back and score. And like 2 seconds, it just fucking, they didn't have a fucking lead the entire goddamn game. Except for that fucking last shot. That last second shot. That was the only fucking lead they had.
Well, Mr. Free Throw there at the end, it would have made a difference too, but
yeah, exactly. And they can't fucking hit foul shots. Turn the fucking ball over like it's their damn job. Man, it pisses me the fuck off. I'm so damn tired of watching these motherfuckers shit down the back of their leg all the fucking time. This is 4 fucking games in a row. It'd be different if they were getting blown out every damn time just because they weren't any fucking good.
Well, you're trying to. I think Gamecock Chuck will agree with me on this. You're trying to play without a point guard, and that's never.
Well,
really
I mean, at some point, somebody's got to step up. Step the fuck up. I mean, they were hitting down shots. They're not just fucking. I'm so damn mad.
Yeah.
He's a sexual fucking sadist. He's a freak. He was taking pictures of his cock and sending it out to everybody on damn campus. And I wouldn't want a picture of him naked or with clothes on or inside, outside, or nothing. He's an ugly motherfucker. He looks like a grown-up Carson Beck. That gives you, I mean, he's lurch. He's an ugly son of a bitch. I don't want a picture of his dick. I don't want to picture anybody's dick. I definitely don't want one of his. And then he was showing it to everybody, and it came out. He did that. He wasn't accused of it. He did it. I mean, he done it, and nothing has happened to him. Nothing. He hasn't been fired. I haven't heard that he's gotten a fine, a suspension for showing the dick pic. Nothing. He's just allowed to fucking do it, I guess. This was students we're talking about. He wasn't sending it to random women. That would be different. Yeah. Like a grown ass woman, like he's a grown ass man. That's different. Okay, he's sending it to students.
Well,
there's Octavian in the comments. If he comes on here tonight on that thing, I don't want him on the damn show. I don't want to hear from him. I don't want to hear fucking mush mouth tard. I'll fucking cuss him out. So it's best he just not be on here this evening.
All right, well there you go. Octavian's been banned from the show tonight. Which might make
you'll just have to catch me in a better mood, Octavian. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I don't feel like listening to your shit tonight.
The other stat that was interesting in the game, Jackpot, was only 8 free throws shot by South Carolina, 9 by Florida. These refs are just letting them go.
Yeah, they let him go. They let him hit an uncontested layup there with a couple of minutes left. Without attempting a foul. I don't even know who that was under the bucket. I don't know how many fouls he had, but I'm sure he didn't have any fouls to give. That's why he let him do it.
Well,
there's your boy Roy Philpott doing the Arkansas game tonight against, I guess, Georgia. Is that who they're playing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, the tough loss there for the Gamecocks. Clemson keeps on rolling, although they did not cover the spread for jackpot there.
No, what the fuck? Did you watch any of it? How did they? I mean,
I was watching both games. It was free throws at the end. Syracuse went to the line, made some free throws late.
Well, I mean, why would Clemson even be putting them on the damn line? They were up by. I think we're just. I don't know. Damn. They're awful too, aren't they? Syracuse. I mean, when would you think we'd say that? I mean, damn.
Syracuse is a shithole. They're Starling for them, 10 of 16 from the floor for 25 points.
Yeah, you're right, Caleb. I mean, they don't. They can't. They're not good on defense. They can't get back. They can't get back and take care of the basket in transition. They were really bad at it in the first half. They got a little better in the second half. Hell, they're up by them 14 points. What the fuck, man? Last year I was at the damn Florida-South Carolina game, which was the last fucking time we won a damn conference game of the regular season or whatever.
Right.
And we had a lead like that, and they came back on us. I think that we had a big lead, or maybe it was just back and forth. They had a lot of the same players playing in that game that they had tonight. They didn't lose a lot. But that Clayton guy was really nasty last year. Me and Jackpot Jr. were at that game. Me and Jackpot Jr. were at the Tennessee game too last year. So,
I
went to 4 games last year. Me and the wife went to saw him play LSU and Kentucky.
Here's the thing, too. I don't want Octavian on the show because we told him you can't come on the show, and he's the first one to click the goddamn link. You can't come on the show tonight, Octavian. Fucking go away. Sorry. Jackpot, though, here's the thing. Looking ahead, South Carolina's playing. Next 2 games are home with Mississippi State. Mississippi State, yeah, they beat you by 35 on the road.
That was their only bad loss in conference. You can say that Oklahoma game was a bad loss. It looked bad, but you
lost by 20 to Alabama too.
Yep, so. Same thing. I mean, they lost to Alabama. I mean, same thing with Oklahoma. They were beating them in the second half, and then just fucking fell apart. I swear.
Well, but I'm trying to figure when you're going to get your first conference win, because Mississippi State and then Georgia, who's 14-4. Then you have A&M, who's 14-4. Then you're on the road at Kentucky, then Ole Miss again, and then a matchup with the Florida Gators on the road. Followed by LSU, who's trash, Texas, who's trash, and then on the road at Missouri. I don't see you.
Vol Navy said USC Junior lost a 4-star. Vol Navy just said we're soft for not letting Octavian on. Isn't that Chris from Georgia who didn't show up after they lost to Ohio State when he said they would?
Yeah.
Okay, that's also soft. We didn't lose a 4-star. Beamer told that kid to kick rocks.
Yeah. They backed off.
Did he go to Tennessee? Because I heard he they say he decommitted. He didn't decommit. They told him to leave. That he wasn't. They took his commitment away or whatever you do. After he got a visit from the Ole Miss defensive coordinator.
Wasn't it academics too? I thought I heard some. I don't know.
Academics.
Like
he's in high school.
Well, I thought that maybe there's a chance he wouldn't qualify, is what I thought I heard, but
I don't know. He's only a junior.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of
class of 26.
Prank call. Forget that. Sorry about that. Anyway, How dumb is Octavian still sitting on hold? So, anyway.
They lost the commitment. Beamer told him to kick rocks because he continued to take visits from other schools. He continued to schedule visits, take visits from other coaches, and I guess Shane Beamer's getting a little bit like Dabo in that regard. And I mean, look, you're going to have flips, but I mean, you can't just be like, I'm committed, but my recruitment is I'm committed, but my recruitment is still open type of mindset, you know?
Well, Dabo Sweeney caught shit for it, but it ends up, once again, Dabo was correct. All you shit kickers, God damn it, these kids should be able to experience the recruiting process. Then when your coach does it, it's fine.
Well, you experienced the recruiting process when you were getting recruited before you committed.
Well, but Dabo has a mentality of, look, we're trying to build young men here. We're not building cocksuckers. We're not building guys that say, hey, you know what? I think I might come to your school, but I don't know. Maybe they'll have some prostitute that'll take care of me at a different school, and I'll go there first and try. Because that's what a lot of these kids do. Dabo's like, look, you visit here, you commit here, you go somewhere else, you don't get to play here. Once again, we're just not the same. Dennis Wilson, that's the best line ever uttered on this program. We are just not the same.
Well, that's definitely true.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. I mean, you're going to have flips, and I don't know. I don't know. There's a right way to go about it, and I don't know. I mean, some of them like flaunt it too much, I guess, that you're taking all these visits and getting visited and phone calls from these other coaches. So I
wonder if they're getting a bag on each visit, Jackpot. That might be happening too.
How much? Well, I mean, how much of a bag are we giving out to? If I'm 4-star.
Think about this though. If you're a 4-star player that you live in the hood, or you live in the middle of nowhere, and you've never gone out of your town.
Well, yeah, $5,000 is a fortune to you.
That's what I'm saying. If I can get $5,000 in cash for every visit that I take, rack them up. We'll buy granddad a lawnmower. That's what a lot of them are thinking, and I don't think that that's bad. But Dabo started this whole thing, and it's other coaches too. Come here and visit. You commit. You can't go anywhere else. It's not the way we're doing things.
Squidtard says, who's better next season, Sellers or Club Dicks? Sellers runs it better. Club Dicks will throw it better, probably.
Jarrett, welcome to the program.
What's going on?
Not much.
Hold on. One thing on what Jackpot said there. I think that Klubnik will have better receivers to throw to. Sellers does not have the receiving core that Clemson has. So
he's got some talent coming in.
You're not proven, Jackpot.
Well, I mean, the ones that you had coming in this past season weren't proven yet until they got there. They ended up being pretty decent.
Well, I'm just talking about on return talent. The production has been better.
Unfortunately for Gamecock opponents, Nick Harbor has decided to skip the spring track session. So it looks like he could be well on his way to giving up on his track career. And that wouldn't be great for people that were playing because he's already coming to his own a little bit.
Here's dumb comment from Squidtard. Nick Harbor is better than any receiver Clemson has. Just log off. Go look at Nick Harbor's stats.
In terms of measurements and athleticism, he's probably right.
What are you talking about? Oh, he's long and bone. He's long and bone and he's fast.
He's a fucking freak, dude.
He's got less than 400 total career receiving yards, but yeah, he's a bad dude.
Okay, well, he was playing last year. His freshman year, he didn't know how to play wide receiver. Last year, he was playing with a quarterback who is just learning how to
Let me touch on that because Uncle Lou, I think, was talking about this receiver. He's been getting better as he's going along. Unlike the quarterback wide receiver we had at Georgia, he couldn't catch a ball and he was a track star. He's getting better going into a different sport, and he's getting better as his education, his year is going on. Like from sophomore, freshman, now junior. I think he'll improve drastically.
Yeah,
I think
he's primed for 1,000-yard receiving season.
I think the receiver you're talking about is going to get a lot better. It's going to be a drastic jump. I think his junior year.
Jared, calm down. Jackpot. I'll bet you a 6-pack of beer he doesn't get 1,000 yards receiving.
Okay.
You know that? That's a fair bet.
I just wish I'd get to had a not used up his red shirt his freshman year. To be honest with you,
what you should do if he didn't commit to logging off of the track team for this year, what you should have hoped is that he transferred because he's holding a spot because I don't think he's as good as a couple of the guys you've got there. So there's that. Remember, your leading receiver last year was a tight end. I'm not.
So was Penn State. So was Penn State's, and they made it to the Final Four.
But you didn't.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, just because your leading receiver is a tight end doesn't mean you suck.
The only negative thing I would have to say about South Carolina is what do we expect from the defense because that drastically changed.
Defense will be fine.
Well, and that's go ahead, Jackpot. I'm sorry.
They're developing dudes over there. Let's not forget, Kyle Kennard wasn't Kyle Kennard before he came to South Carolina. I mean, so
yeah.
I will give you credit on the fact that you're developing folks, but I think you're losing 7 starters on defense.
Well, I mean, teams lose. We're not losing starters. We're going to have 11 starters.
7 guys that started last year, sir.
Okay, well, it'll be fine. Be all right.
There was a lot of people in the call-in show for Uncle Lou that were South Carolina.
It's January, but I'm putting it out there now. The fact that South Carolina fans think there's not going to be any drop-off on the defense is going to be common.
I didn't say there wasn't going to be any drop-off, but the drop-off that they have on the defense, I think they're going to make up on the offensive side of the ball because they're going to be a whole lot better. Let's not forget, until after that Oklahoma game, that offense wasn't showing hardly a damn pulse.
Yes, but Don Shula, I saw, and a lot of the South Carolina fans in Uncle Lou's chat was kind of skeptical because he kept using Sellers as a passing quarterback instead of a running quarterback. The last bowl game, this past bowl game, that's what they said, not me.
I don't know. Maybe he had seen something on film against the Illinois had been doing that thought he could exploit that, and they shut it down. I don't know.
Maybe
it was his first game that we know he was calling plays in, so we got to give him a little bit of a break. I honestly think he was calling plays in a lot more than that this year. I mean, just based off the way they looked after they played Oklahoma.
I'm just talking about specifically the game with Illinois and South Carolina. That's the game I'm talking about. It was totally different from how we played the regular season.
Yeah.
So is that an OC problem?
Well, let me give you this too. Maybe Shula's a smart guy, and maybe he realizes, you know what? We have to go out for this bowl game, but in the grand scheme of things, no one gives a fuck about this game. No one does. Only dumb fucks care about this game.
I like the game. I like it.
I'm going to protect my quarterback and keep him in the pocket instead of having him run around crazy like he did against Clemson. I'm not going to let him do that. I think that's smart if that happened. Now, there's still going to be a section of Gamecock fans that are going to say, well.
So you think they went with a conservative game plan to.
Right. I really do, because in the end, would you rather have him go out there running around crazy, maybe take a bad hit and end up screwing himself, and you go into the off season with questions on whether or not your quarterback's hurt? I wonder if that's maybe in the thought process, or maybe he thought, you know what, I'm going to use this as a live scrimmage,
an experimental day.
Right. I don't want to know if you can. I already know you can run all over hell's creation and do whatever the hell you want to do with your feet. Let's see you stay in the pocket and make plays. Let's see if Nick Harbor and these other guys can make plays, or do we need to make changes in the offseason to people who can actually catch the ball instead of having a tight end as our top target as far as getting yards? Maybe there was some of that in the mix too. Because if I'm a head coach, that's what I'm doing. I'm not. I'll do the song and dance and do whatever needs to be done to try to justify, hey, we're going to a shit game that no one cares about because the playoffs are all that matter.
I mean, I beg to differ. It was probably one of the only bowl games out there where both teams looked like they had a vested interest in winning it.
Yeah,
I mean, they're about to fight each other. I mean, it looked like a rivalry game almost.
Jackpot. If your team cared, Memorial would have played the second half.
Cheez-It Bowl has turned out to be one of the most important bowl games so far the past couple of years, in my opinion. People get more attention to that and other bowl that Miami and whoever they were playing was in.
I would put the wraps on the season here, Jackpot. Jared, go ahead and finish up with your thoughts because I've got a couple other little things I want to get into.
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm about to finish up, but I'm just curious to see what Georgia's going to look like with a new young offensive line and brand new wide receivers. Well, not brand new, but some coming back, but mostly a few transfer portal receivers. I'm curious to see what it looks like. What would you think, Rob? Carolina Jackpot?
I think Georgia's got talent all over the field, and I don't think that's going to be an issue for the Bulldogs.
We got the freaking same tackle that kept getting, his missing his assignments, and our quarterback got sacked constantly. He's coming back. The two tackles that cycle out, they're coming back. Those two, and
what kind of offensive line coach do y'all have? Do you have someone that can coach them up?
I don't know. We got
start all year long, or was he in there because somebody was hurt, or was he your regular?
Regular. He's just fucked up on the Ole Miss game and Notre Dame game. You could see that when he played with Notre Dame and Ole Miss. Carson Beck was getting sacked, and then Gunnar Stockton was getting blindside sacked. It was just, and they're coming back. I don't know who's going to. I mean, if there's somebody behind them that can replace him.
Well, yeah. I mean, surely they'll have open competition just like anywhere else for somebody better. Surely they'll replace him. I don't want that shit.
Here's the thing, too. If Kirby Smart wants to get a better offensive line coach, he can make a call and someone will go there.
We need our running back coach back. That's what we need. We need to get him back. I think he's at Georgia Southern. We need to get him back. We were doing great with running backs.
What did Georgia Southern to do? Coach the team?
I can't. It's a Georgia. It's a Georgia University. I don't know exactly where. I think it's Georgia Southern. I could be wrong, but yeah, we need to bring him back because we were doing great with running backs, and these past 2 years we just fell off a cliff.
Yep. All right, Jarrett. Well, appreciate it, buddy.
Okay.
Thank you for the program, man. Have a good night.
All right.
Anyway, look, Jackpot. The final AP Top 25 was released today. Oh, by the way, our live stream the other night, go and watch that. Jackpot was literally, he was on the door of winning the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge and ended up taking it out on a poor Utz hat. I felt bad for the hat. Then I felt bad for Jackpot. But our
wearing that hat, I took a paper clip and fixed the little strap over the back because I like that hat. It's a golf hat. It's cool to put on, and it doesn't make me sweat like other hats do, and so that kind of upset me a bit.
Well, Mountain Mama ended up winning it. The West Virginia fan ends up winning it because her and Dwayne had the same pick. They both had Ohio State +8, but she was closer to the point total. Therefore, she is our champion. I will email her this evening. And, yes, congratulations to her.
Fucking crap.
Well, don't be mean to her now. The pick may have been bad.
No, I'm not being mean to her. It's just fucking crap. I mean, goddamn. I mean, I'm that fucking close. You know, but I got to transfer all that money into one account. I still got to do that. I got to take it, the Cash App, the PayPal. I got to do it all in one lump.
I'll email her and we'll get all that worked out behind
so
the
I can
scenes.
send it away.
Well, well, that's something too. The wife made sure that I put this out there. In our 2 challenges this year, they've both been won by the females. So the women that listen to our show know their shit. So there's that. Anyway, I want to go over the final AP top 25.
Mitch Jeter could never mind. Motherfucker.
Jack was mad as fuck the other night.
I mean, how did fuck he miss that damn field goal? I mean, damn.
Yeah.
Just damn.
Anyway.
I mean, what was it, like a 20-yard field goal? It was really
33 yards, Jackpot.
33-yarder. Damn, man.
I think you could kick a 33-yard field goal. I'd bet on you to do that. If I gave you 3 of them, I think you'd hit 1 out of 3.
Well,
right,
they do that. I mean, when they get close like that and they're at a poor angle or whatever, because he was on the right hash, I think.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes, but I mean, damn, why you got to do it in the damn Natty game of all places? I mean, do it in practice, dude. Oh, well.
All right, final rankings came out for the AP. Of course, Ohio State at 1, Notre Dame at 2. Interesting, Oregon's at 3, even though they got walloped. Texas finishes at 4, followed by Penn State at 5, Georgia at 6, Arizona State at 7. Boise State finishes 8th. I think that's the highest they've ever finished. Tennessee at 9, Indiana at 10.
See, I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know that Oregon's not better than Notre Dame, but I don't know. We'll never know.
Yeah. Well, I thought what we would do, Jackpot, is that we would look at this and then we would look at the preseason AP top 25. And just to, and I haven't even looked at this yet. I had it in my head. I wanted to do it. But if we go back to week 1, Ohio State was number 2.
Gamecock said Southcon fans wanted Jeter all year. Shitting on, well, Herrera wasn't any good either.
Yeah.
And Jeter, I think Jeter was hurt some this year too. Did they say?
Yeah, something like that.
But Herrera was, oh God, that guy.
Anyway,
he did. I mean, he hit the one Clemson game that made it 14-10 in the fourth quarter, and then we ended up winning. So
Alabama started the season at 5. They finished the season at 17. South Carolina was unranked at the beginning of the year, but they ended up finishing. Where did the Gamecocks finish? The Gamecocks finished 19th.
See, I don't agree with that. I mean, how is Alabama ranked ahead of us when we both had the same record? Both their losses came to unranked our teams that finished 6-6.
They beat you.
Yeah, they lost their bowl game too.
Yeah. Illinois.
We're not talking about picking us in a dodgeball game, picking them in a dodgeball game over us. We're talking about rankings. I mean that don't make sense.
Well, they thought that the head-to-head mattered, and maybe that's why they put them ahead of you.
Congratulations! They beat us by 2 points at home.
Well, but under that logic, do you think Syracuse should have finished ahead of Miami? Both of them were 10-3 teams. Syracuse had the heads up over them, but Syracuse is 18th. Miami is 18th, and Syracuse is 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, it's interesting, though, when you look at these things. I'm looking to see where Boise State was at the beginning of the season.
Where did Clemson finish?
Clemson finished ahead of all of you.
But we beat them. So, I mean, that doesn't – see, there we go with that argument. Yeah, but we beat you.
I'm just telling you how the voters voted, my friend.
I mean, we beat them. You know, so that doesn't make any sense. Everybody's like, they beat you. You know,
they did beat you.
We beat them. You know, so but Alabama beat us, but they're ahead of us.
Well, if you have two teams with a similar resume and one wins the head-to-head, maybe that's the way they look at it. The Vanderbilt loss doesn't look that bad, Jackpot. Now, maybe the Oklahoma loss does.
Vanderbilt and Oklahoma both had the same record.
Yeah, but who would you take on a neutral field right now, Oklahoma or Vanderbilt? I think I'd take Vandy.
I don't know. Vandy kind of fizzled out down the stretch. I mean, they didn't even cover the damn spread against fucking Tennessee. I mean, who does that?
No. Clemson started 14th in the AP poll, finished 14th. Miami started 19th.
Deeble dobble do. Yeah, see, didn't even. I mean, you didn't. Well, at least you didn't not live up to expectations.
So, no Boise State in the final poll.
Hey, did you know Notre Dame and Boise State are playing next year in a regular season matchup?
Is it on the turf or at Notre Dame?
I think it's at Notre Dame. It's on like October the 2nd or something like that. I'm sure it's at Notre Dame. They wouldn't play there.
Well, anyway, it's fun to look back on these. Some teams that obviously didn't live up to expectations this year. Missouri started 11th to finish 23rd. Oklahoma, unranked at the end of the season, started 16th. Oklahoma State was like, 4-8? They were a shithole. Let's see here. Kansas, I don't think Kansas made a bowl game. NC State, they were ranked 24th. They ended up being a shithole.
Yeah, Kansas had a losing record.
Yeah, so it's interesting, though, because when you look in the others receiving votes at the beginning of the season, Boise State was, I guess, 28th. They ended up finishing 8th. Let's see here. Also, Kentucky and Auburn had votes at the beginning of the season. Not so much.
Auburn's always got. I mean, Auburn always has this hype, and I think they gave them a little hype for next year. Somebody I saw had a poll out them ranked in the top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, where do people come up with this?
I don't know. But also, I wanted to look at when you look at Clemson's schedule this year. Other than Texas and South Carolina, they got no help from the conference. They didn't play Syracuse this year, did they?
What's that?
Clemson didn't play Syracuse this year, I don't believe.
No, they didn't play the Fruit. That would have been another L.
Maybe. Actually, Clemson has one?
Exactly.
Let's see here. They had the one win, which was over SMU, who finished 12th. But South Carolina ends up with they get the one win over Clemson and the win over Mizzou. So South Carolina gets 2 wins over teams that finish in the top 25. Clemson gets 1 win, and that is the win over SMU. Yeah. So in the grand scheme of things, that's how that all works out. So interesting when you look at the regular season and how that, and the first poll of the season and then the final poll. So, do you have any heartaches over any of that, Jackpot? Any of that bother you?
No.
Fireball said, ask about Tennessee. You finished 9th. This is the AP rankings. And you started 15th. So you went up.
Do we not have a CFP final ranking? I guess they don't do that.
No, they do. The final rankings.
CFP polls just to,
Yeah. That's why I'm using the AP poll because in the end, it's when it comes down to it, how many teams did you end up beating that were there? But hey, let's look at how many teams did you end up playing, because that's pretty good too. So South Carolina had Alabama for 1, Clemson was 2, Mizzou was 3, Ole Miss is 4. Illinois would be 5. So there's 5 of your 13 games were against teams that ended up in the top 25.
LSU didn't get ranked.
No, sir.
No
season. Clemson, on the other hand, finishes with what? 1. Your SMU is 1. South Carolina is 2.
Georgia
would be 3. And if you count the Texas game, that's 4. So they played 4 top 25 teams. South Carolina played 5 top 25 teams. Once again, when all you Gamecock fans are like, oh my God, their schedule, we played the same amount of top 25 teams you did minus 1. I know this hurts feelings.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's talk about how we also played some teams that were ranked at the time we played them.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't.
Yeah, it does. It does. A lot of those teams, no, they were having good seasons. You can't tell me that don't matter. If you play a team in October and they're ranked 15th, and you
Oklahoma was ranked 16th.
Next week, that team goes out. I'm not talking about Oklahoma, but I'm talking about you have a team that goes out and then they have a rash of injuries.
They were a shithole,
and they end up not ranked.
Down the line. Up and down the line. It does not
they
matter.
End up ranked 27. It's like, they're not ranked. They're not any good.
Where they finished. I know that you're giving, but that's an SEC and ranked. No.
Well, this is how Clemson always they always deeble-dobble, backdoor their way into some bullshit. Look at them. You play some ranked teams here. It's because everybody else has already beat everybody up by the damn time all the shit's over and done with.
I'm sorry. The reality is that it boils down to.
We still played more and beat more.
Sure, you played one more game, and you had one more win.
And we're the best.
You finished 5 spots behind us because the AP writers know that your program is shit. So
we're shit because we're 5 spots behind. Okay,
you're 5 spots behind us. If their logic was thinking,
where would you have been ranked at if Miami had done what they were supposed to and won their ball game?
Where will we ranked if we had
where would you be ranked at then? I mean,
put all of our stuff into a computer.
Probably wouldn't even be ranked.
99 speeds and across the board. I mean, we could just talk about a vacuum. I'm dealing with actual numbers.
Probably wouldn't even be ranked if Miami knew how to protect the damn lead. Mario Big Chest weren't a shitty coach.
Well, and if Juice Wells didn't drag his nuts on you again and again and again, you might have been finishing higher too.
Juice Wells didn't score a point in that game.
Yeah, but I tell you what, your guys on the field were absolutely. Oh my God, he can't touch the ball, or we'll lose our shit. Which is why you got your shit kicked in. So, anyway,
they got the shit kicked in because they let Jackson Dart deep dick them.
Well, sucks to suck, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Anyway.
Sucks to be winless at home against Shane Beamer. That must be embarrassing.
Well, flukes happen. Sort of like tonight, Carolina, they were up.
Two times in 3 calendar years is not flukes. It's just being bad. Not being good.
7 to go and you lost. That is
not me.
Not fluke. Anyway. Good point from this one right here. If grandma had balls, she'd be grandpa. Very good, sir.
Yep.
Anyway, if you'd like to join the program, there's the link.
Where's Rob has SEC bias? He's been conspicuously absent the past few shows.
You know where he's at. So, anyway, it's going to be interesting. The early top 25s, I think, are garbage, by the way. the stuff they're putting out there is.
They're really, I mean, they're honestly nothing but clickbait until you get, I don't know, I say until about week 4, week 5. I mean, you really can't logically rank anybody.
I like the idea of none of the rankings matter until Halloween, but I also am in the camp of if you're going to do these preseason rankings, Jay with the super chat, keep Octavian banned fun. Thank you, Jay.
Thanks.
Anyway,
he's not banned. I mean, we'll let him back on here. I just don't want to. I don't want to hear shit tonight. I'm fucking mad. That was ridiculous. The way they lost that ball game, just blew it. You talk about fucking blowing it. That was just blowing it.
Yeah. So
I don't understand why.
Well, to be fair, you were up. I think you were up like 14.
They were up by 14 points. Well, I knew at that time they were up by 14. I said, this is as good as, I mean, I'm like, this game's as good as being tied. I'm like, because I know they're going to come back. And, of course, they did. But, God almighty. God. They banked in a three-pointer with like 2 minutes to go, like a 25-footer. They just threw up a fucking prayer and just banked it in off the glass. And when I saw that, I said, they're going to fucking win this game.
But you guys did the same thing. Your guy had a bank 3 too, like right before then, right?
Yeah, but we also didn't come down. I don't know. Man.
Anyway, so tough loss for South Carolina tonight. When do you think you're going to get your first conference win, Jackpot? I was giving you the schedule earlier.
It's going to be the next one.
That's great. Oh, man.
Who they playing Saturday? Mississippi State, that one.
The team you lost by 35 to?
Doesn't matter. We're in the CLA.
I love you, Jackpot. You're hilarious. Y'all beat us by 70 yesterday. We're going to win.
They'll probably lose to Florida by 35 on the road. I mean, that doesn't mean.
You think it's just the whole you play better at home thing?
They do, but they could have won the Vanderbilt game. They could have beaten. I don't know. They were leading Oklahoma. I mean, I don't know. They do play better at home. It seems right, but.
Gamecock Chuck says, Rob served it up earlier, or summed it up earlier. No point.
He just retracted his statement, so obviously he didn't mean what he said.
What are you talking about?
Whatever Gamecock Chuck said, he took it away. He retracted it.
Oh, okay. Well, fine. Anyway, go and look at if you want some homework for later on. Go look at the top 25, how it started and how it ended, and that when you come back next season and you want to talk about rankings, just remember how those shake out, because they get some of them right, and then others they miss horribly on.
Yeah, I was looking at the schedules for next year tonight, just kind of dicking around. I actually went over to FanDuel and I looked at some of the early lines on some of the opening games. I didn't know that Georgia Tech was playing at Colorado in the opener.
I knew that.
That's interesting. Notre Dame has an interesting schedule. They play at Arkansas, I think, at some point during the season next year. And Clemson was favored in their game against LSU at home by 2 points, 2.5.
Dude, that's at LSU, isn't it?
No, hell no. Y'all wouldn't be favored there. It's at Clemson.
Oh, okay. I thought I was mistaken. I thought we played. Oh, make sure I'm not sitting here.
South Carolina was favored by 9.5 over Virginia Tech. Tennessee, I think, was favored by like 2 touchdowns against Syracuse, which seems kind of, I don't know.
I mean, is Tennessee going to have anybody to play wide receiver?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then, I mean, I know Syracuse will have to replace their quarterback, McCord, but I don't. Did somebody from the portal go there, or they? I don't know who's going to play quarterback.
Well, I think that Vegas knows there'll be a lot of SEC dummies that, oh my God, this is an SEC team versus an ACC team, so give us 75 points and we'll cover it. You know, Vegas will have that line out there. I don't think Syracuse will win, but they'll cover.
Yeah, that's a lot of points. I don't know about South Carolina and Virginia Tech. I mean, that seems like a lot of points to me for that, too. I think that could be a close game, and I think Virginia Tech's going to be motivated for that game because, I mean, they lost their season opener last year.
Squidtard says, but yes, we own the ACC. Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, if I remember correctly,
you don't own Georgia State, whatever conference they're in.
Georgia State, and then if we also think
about
the
Sun Belt.
So you played what? You played North Carolina State last year.
They beat Clemson. They beat North Carolina State.
But what happened the last time you played? Oh, I don't know. Was it that you've lost? You're 50-50 in your last two games with Virginia Tech. So there's that. You don't own everything. But, yeah. So there's that. Anyway.
Virginia Tech, like 2016 or something?
They lost, let's see, they lost them in 2009 and then beat them in 2016.
Okay. I know Tennessee's 1-1 against Pitt the past few years.
Yeah, Pitt beat that ass too. So
Pitt won at Tennessee, and then Tennessee turned around the next year and won at Pitt.
I think you'll beat Syracuse, but I don't know if you'll cover what was the line you said, Jackpot?
It was like it's 2 touchdowns, I think.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. South Carolina, we said -9.5. I think we don't know who the transfers are going to be for each school either. So
yeah, you still got a spring portal window too.
I also think that game, like, what's the Virginia Tech's head coach? Is it Brent? Is it Pry? Is that the head coach?
Brent Pry, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to him talk before?
I try not to. They're all hillbillies.
He seems like a real down to earth coach, and he's just different. He doesn't sound like your normal, I don't know, head coach. I mean, he sounds like somebody sitting on the couch drinking beer with. I mean,
in the game that Pittsburgh had, they beat your ass. When they came into your shithole, they beat your ass. You had 100,000 people there sharing 12 teeth, and all of them went home upset. Don't get angry. We can play the highlights for you. Yes, you won later on, but this whole thing of, oh, we're going to beat everyone in the conference. No, you're not. You're not. You're not that good, Tennessee. I mean, if you were so good, you would have been able to keep your wideouts there. Everybody left. Fuck it. We don't want to play in a high volume offense.
What do you think it is? You think they don't want to play with Nico?
I think that the stuff I read was that didn't they promised this one kid he could have everything, and
the one kid they're letting him play, like Heupel caved in and told him he could play. Right. Boo Boo Carter or something told him he could play on defense and offense. Yeah.
He can play on both sides.
This kid, they all think you're going to be the next Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's only one of those. Okay, I mean you're not the next Travis Hunter.
And owning the locker room, it was, hey, we'll let you play wherever you want if you come here. And the other guys were like, well, fuck this, I'm leaving.
Fireball says they lost Squirrel White. He was a bum-ass wide receiver. Yeah, but before the season started, y'all were talking about how great he was going to be.
I thought everybody said you lost.
He was supposed to be the next Jalen Hyatt. He was Jalen Hyatt, Hyatt's heir apparent, right?
Yeah, I don't know. If I were a wide receiver, and I don't know if I'd look at what Tennessee had and the fact that they finished 8th, 9th in the conference in passing. I don't know if I'd want to go there either. Just saying.
They said their wide receivers have a lot of drops. And that's why Nico's passing stats Didn't look good.
And the weather was bad in Athens the last time they played there.
They said that their wide receivers had a bunch of drops. They couldn't catch a ball. That's why Nico had such poor passing stats. But then on the flip side, I've heard that Nico didn't throw a catchable ball.
Could be that too.
So I don't know.
What they
Jay,
finish in rushing?
Another comment here was Heupel, the SEC coach, texting Sidney Thomas. Maybe.
Who is this? Somebody's trying to get in somebody's guts. What's going on here?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Sidney Thomas claims that
Who's Sidney Thomas?
She's some hot reporter. Something.
I bet you it was Beamer.
What they finish in rushing?
That lurch motherfucker did that. Come on.
It was probably Coach Drink.
Tomorrow.
Oh,
I don't think that happened. All right, Billy. Tell us the Tennessee wide receiver room's the best ever, and Heupel's the best coach. The weather was bad in Athens. That's why you guys lost there.
No.
I don't know. What else does Sports Talk Jay say? What was it, 4 years ago? South Carolina, like half the linebackers quit. I mean, there's excuses all the time with Tennessee.
Yeah.
We can just you can make up something. And then they'll just come, like Sports Talk Jay will do a 12-part series on it. That's why he listens to this show, because I could just make up some bullshit about Tennessee and he could weave some shit together and be like, oh, well, this is how this happened. Like if I said, we'll use Jay's. Heupel text this Thomas person. That had to happen, right? I mean, maybe he did. He has several different cell phones, and then Sports Talk Jay will do fucking 8 episodes on the 7 cell phones, and we're one of them texting Morgan Thomas or whatever the fuck her name was. Maybe not. Or we could talk about Squirrel White, and Squirrel White was like, I want to be a Tennessee receiver, and the next day said he didn't. What went through his head? Did they give him bad takeout? Tune into Sports Talk Jay. He'll break it down for you.
Heupel's got a burner phone. I guarantee you one of them's specifically used for DoorDash.
Yeah, one.
Oh God! Y'all wanna look at Beamer's resume as a player and Heupel's? We want to do that? No, that he wouldn't have been a long snapper if Daddy wasn't been there. But anyway, the trouble with Tennessee
he was honorable mention all conference long snapper.
Yeah,
the DoorDash burner phone. God damn it, Chuck.
To be honest with this has been brewing and will continue to brew because dumbasses up at Tennessee Spire Sports gave a high school kid $8 million. And it has not set well with players. There's locker room problems. There's been locker room problems, and there'll continue to be locker room problems. And
yeah, that would make me jealous too.
Well, how would you like to be your locker? You be a 4 or 5 star player, and you didn't get no money, and your locker's next to his. But anyway, the problem started.
Would you like
with,
that to happen to you? And this guy gets $8 million, but you're, hey, fat ass, get out there and block for him.
Yeah.
And if you're a good boy, maybe Heupel will use his DoorDash line and get you some fucking grits and eggs for breakfast tomorrow.
Come on, Rob. The problem is
you bring up a good point, though. I mean,
what's a problem?
I mean, how do these other players react to this? You know, these other guys and their newfound wealth.
Well, I'm trying to tell you, but Rob keeps wanting to insult Heupel. Boo Carter, who's a true freshman from Cleveland, Tennessee, right here. He played tailback in high school, and I think they were state champs, 6A or whatever. He played both ways. Well, he goes into the locker room after a couple of weeks ago and tells Heupel, I'm leaving or I want more money. And on top of that, if you don't, I want more money and I want to play offense next year. Understand, this kid started as a freshman and he was all SEC first team, freshman team, and he was all that in a bag of chips. So the wide receiver core, because he's going to bump somebody, they started saying, well, piss on this. They ain't going to give me money. So it's about the bag. I ain't getting money, so I'm leaving. So they left. Squirrel White was a decent receiver. He served a purpose, but he stayed hurt all the time. I don't even think he had 400 yards this year.
Well, and he had like 800 yards 2023.
Yeah, but that's all relevant.
When he was playing with Joe Milton III. So
when you have the leading rusher in the SEC running the ball down your throat, you don't need to pass the ball that much. So
no, but I mean, he had a good amount of yards in 2023 also.
Yeah,
but he stayed hurt, and he got mad because Boo Carter's coming to be a wide receiver. Somebody's going to lose their job. And they got wide receivers coming in. It ain't like we didn't recruit wide receivers. And there's transfer portal receivers come in, so there'll be wide receivers on the field come spring. And it's all back to this money.
There'll be people out there that are wide receivers. I'll give you that, but they're not proven. We don't know how good they're going to be.
I hear that, but I don't think a coach recruits somebody thinking, well, we're going to teach him how to catch the ball. He's probably got a clue that he can catch the ball.
Well, that's the case. Then the line that we've heard about, the receivers had a lot of drops. Maybe Heupel's not very good at addressing wideouts.
Well, maybe that kid from South Carolina who kind of gave South Carolina one of these and decided to go up there can be productive for them.
No, who knows? But this is what money does. And bless Saban's heart, he testified before Congress 3 years ago and said this is going to happen. And lo and behold, it's a crap hole up here at Tennessee. It's a shithole right now. And it's all because of money.
Yeah, but it's always a shithole. Come on now.
Get this. Even Nico Lamaleva, he said, I want more money, and they gave him more money.
Well, you have to pay him. He's going to win the Heisman. That's what we've been told.
He's already got $8 million.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I want more money. It's out of control. It's out of control.
Well, it's not like you couldn't find somebody else to come there and play quarterback. He got that kind of money. I'd tell him no more. No.
We got the number one quarterback in the nation for 2026 coming in. We've got a 5-star backup or 4-star Mecklenburg. And in 2026, we got
You got somebody from Charlotte, you say?
Mecklenburg, yeah. And Faison Brandon is coming in 2026, who was the number one quarterback in the nation. So I don't know about the ratings. That's what it is. So we're okay at quarterback.
I know. All that's great. But if I'm a 5-star player or a 4-star player, I'm not going to go somewhere. And this isn't Tennessee. This is anywhere. If I'm a 5-star guy, I'm not going to go to Tennessee and sit. I want to fucking play.
And any place.
They transfer out anywhere. So
yep. It'll all work out. Everybody will get in where they fit in. They'll find a home. People come to Clemson. There'll be people come to South Carolina. People will come to Tennessee. They'll get in where they can fit in. So don't you know that there's wide receivers across the nation looking right now? Well, damn, I ain't getting enough money here in Tennessee. They're a cash cow. Let me go there.
Yeah, but would you want to go to Tennessee after what you just saw? Where, hey, this kid could come in and he can just say, hey, he wants more money. And, it doesn't look like they care about the rest of the wide receivers. I don't know why any kid would go there as a wide receiver.
Well, you know as well as I do, this is all about winning, and they could give a rat's butt about these kids. They could care less.
Yeah, it's all about winning to the coaches, but I think it's all about the bag to the kids. They don't give a fuck if they go 0-12. As long as they get their bag, they don't give a shit.
They don't care if they played at Washington Community College or Okefenokee Community College down in Georgia. As long as they get paid, they don't care. They don't care. But basically, it started with the kid from here in Cleveland, Boo Carter. By the way, Tennessee pays NIL money for high school. He got paid big bucks here to play at Bradley Central High School down the road from me. And he was like, I think the number 2 or 3 cornerback. And it cost him money. And now he wants more money. I mean, think about it. You're the SEC Freshman of the Year, and he was the deep man on the punt and deep man on the kickoff, and he played started as a freshman. So if you're going to give this quarterback over here $8 million and had production like he had, ante up.
People say I'm not fair when it comes to this stuff. What Fireball is saying makes sense. Nico didn't get $8 million off the bat. He made like $2.5 million, and then it was over time. It's going to be $8 million. Okay?
It was $8 million over 4 years. You're correctly right.
In my opinion, if these kids are going to act like such assholes about it, your NIL deal is 1 year. If you don't perform, get the fuck out. That's the way that it should be.
Then go back to 247 when Nico was being recruited. I think he was the number 2 quarterback. Look at all the schools that were recruiting him. Ohio State, Alabama, Michigan. So if you're in the mix, what do you have to do to get this kid? Now, we know what's turned out, but at the time, what are you going to do to get this kid with over 20 major programs recruiting you? What are you going to do? You cough up the money. And if you don't cough up the money, you get a 2 or 3 star and hope you could develop him. And that's
but in the end, it comes back down to your coaches making an assessment. Is this kid going to be the guy? Or are we're gonna promise this $8 million over time to someone who
247 has him as a 5-star and the number 2 quarterback in the country, and there's over 20 colleges looking at him, to include Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame, and Alabama. What are you going to do to get him?
I'm just saying you have to be able to hit every time when there's that much money there.
Well, you take a chance, just like they took a chance on Klubnik, they took a chance on Sellers and everybody else. And you hope that he grows and develops.
Sellers wasn't rated that high. I think he was a 3-4 star recruit. He wasn't like
but they took him and developed him. He was developed. Right. Yeah. And now he'll be more. Did he not want more money?
I don't know. He got more money on, but he had
people thinks that Sellers stayed there because his heart was in Columbia. You're sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. He would have got up and walked in a heartbeat.
The guy was on record saying he wanted to be a Gamecock, and he did this before he even signed anywhere else. He even talked about, hey, I want to go to South Carolina. Hopefully they'll come visit. I saw an interview with him on that. That was before
they brought his brother in there.
That was before. Who else was recruiting him at the time?
He had the choice to go to the 2 big.
He was originally committed to Virginia.
Right. I mean, he had big stuff all over the place.
He was originally committed to Virginia, and then he committed to Syracuse, and then we flipped him.
He got offered late to South Carolina, if I remember.
And now he's developed. Let me tell you what, if a school had come and said, we're going to give you $8 million, he'd have jumped. He'd been fool not to. He'd have been fool not to.
I don't think he'd jump right now.
Well, he got money from South Carolina. They dug up some money.
Well, they kind of had to.
Huh?
They had to.
Well, Why did they have Sports Talk Jay talked up some theory that there were rumors he was going to hit the transfer portal. This was right after the regular season was over with, which, by the way, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe he heard him from somewhere. I never heard it.
You know where he heard it from? Sports Talk Jay. That's where he heard it from. That kid was never leaving South Carolina.
His theory was that, he says, you know where those rumors came from? He's like, was Sellers Camp himself. He's like, because who better to try to bolster up the check that you're going to get written?
Well, back to what Rob said a minute. Why did they dig up the money, Rob?
Because he earned it. That was the difference. Yeah. You paid Nico all this money, and Sellers is a better quarterback than he is.
So you're saying Sellers is staying there because his heart's in Columbia. Why did he even need more money? He didn't ask for more money.
You think he's not entitled to it?
Trust me. If some school would have said, "I'll give you $8 million to come," he would have allowed. They gave him
that $2.5 million to ensure that heart stays in Columbia.
Well, if a lot of schools would have come at him, trust me. There's nobody devoted to this university anymore. There's not.
They brought his brother in with him. I don't think it's going to be like.
That's part of the deal. How much did his brother get?
Remember Justin Fields? Like he claimed that there was all this racial shit at Georgia, but then he left but left his sister there.
She was still on the volleyball team.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen at South Carolina. So,
well, to be honest, there was a guy at a baseball game. Let's see. It was a girls' softball game. One of the baseball players off Georgia's team yelled up, no. He was a baseball player at the football game and yelled, put the N-word guy in when he was sitting on the bench holding a clipboard using. And that baseball player got.
What are you talking about? Were they shorted? Put a better nose tackle in? I don't know what you're talking about.
He wasn't running the fake punt very good. Could you imagine putting Justin Fields in the game and thinking he's going to punt?
Yeah.
he didn't put him in as an up back.
Yeah, he was going to be the fake punter, and he didn't run it very good. So he drug up and went to Ohio State. So I don't know, but
all right,
anyway.
Billy, I got to move on, man, because I got to bring.
Hey,
be up all night.
Give Octavian a chance. Let's see if he can come up here and act like a human being.
He can come on later on, but not tonight because I don't want to hear his shit either.
Well, I don't either. I mean, it's just. But let's see if he can be humble himself in here.
He's just gonna damn.
Bob Ross said Nico had 19 and 5 interceptions. Sellers had 18 and whatever.
I don't get this stuff.
That's why he wasn't better. Okay, that's cool. That's one stat. Now let's show the rushing yard.
Add the rushing
yard. When you start talking about
you told me QBR, one or the other, and this is just a personal thing, I automatically deduct points from Nico for the way that he played and how he pounded, and the fact that Sellers actually started at a lower level and moved him his way up.
Oh.
So
okay.
I'll be happy to take Sellers over Nico.
Okay.
All right. Well, let me bring in Squidtar. Appreciate you, buddy.
Later. Bye.
There you go. Squidtar, welcome to the program.
Salutations, good friends.
Hello. How are you?
Good evening.
Doing all right. Billy Cole, he did hit a lot of those things on the money. And firstly, I want to talk about Fireball's most recent comment about Nico's 19 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, whatever the deal is with that. That is a good stat for Nico, and I think Nico has a very high ceiling at Tennessee, but he hasn't hit it yet, and he's nowhere near it. And I think that's a cherry pick stat, honestly. Because like Jackpot said, I'm sure Sellers has got more rushing yards. And it's kind of falling for the same bait that Joe Milton had last season. Because everybody called Joe Milton really good because he had a bunch of passing yards. But they forget the fact that 80% of his passes came from screens and throws behind the line of scrimmage. So it's very misleading. It's a very misleading stat. And Nico has progressed way better than I thought he has over the course of the season. Because in the first few games, he wasn't very good. But in the Ohio State game, while he wasn't, a great quarterback by any means, I thought he looked more poised in the pocket. And my concern, obviously wide receivers is still a concern, but mainly my biggest concern is with the offensive line. Now, we are bringing in David Sanders, who I'm sure is going to make a day one impact, but I think the loss of Cooper Mays on the center is going to make more of an impact than I think people are talking about. So really, I think that Syracuse game at the start of the season is really going to kind of tell the tale about whether or not Heupel is this elite offensive mind that people have said him out to be, or if it was just a product of Alex Golesh from the first 2 years Heupel was at Tennessee. We're going to find out a lot from that game, I think.
Well, I looked up. I think Syracuse is losing 7 starters on defense. So I don't think it'll be an issue with that. The issue will be, can your defense maintain the level that they had last year? Because Syracuse returned, I think, 10 guys on offense. And, so, I mean, it could come down to that, too, to be fair.
Well, the loss of Big O on the line, and of course James Pierce Jr. is going to hurt a lot. I think our defensive line is going to take a pretty big step back, but I think our secondary will be just fine. Jermon McCoy is making his return, and he was no doubt our best second man on the secondary. And then, of course, we've got a bunch of veteran guys coming back on that secondary. So I think we'll be fine there. But I do agree that the line is going to take a step back.
Yeah. I looked at the stats there on when you add the rushing stats to it. Sellers had, let's see here. Nico ended up with 358 for the year. Sellers was at 674, but Sellers ended up with 7 rushing touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me in the slightest. And I think Sellers is going to be in the running for the Heisman Trophy next year. He looked really, really good. And it's just a matter of it's kind of the same problem with Tennessee. It's a matter of how well the O-line improves, because this goes for both Carolina and Tennessee. If those lines don't improve, they're going to be stuck in a rut next season too. And I think if we're keeping the same coaching staff to the chagrin of me and many other Tennessee fans, I do not like our offensive coaching staff being there. They aren't very good from what I've seen. That we have the most vanilla, weak play calling, no trickery that we have with Golish or anything like that. And we didn't have an elite offensive line back then either. We still had Darnell Wright, but we didn't have this elite offensive line back then either. But we did have a bunch of trick plays and an elite offensive playbook the first 2 years. And then after Golish left, it went completely shallow, and it's just a complete shell of itself. So I am concerned whether or not Tennessee's elite offense those first 2 years was a product of Golish and not of Heupel. Because if it was, then we're liable to see the exact same thing. And I think the Vols will take a big step back because of it. An 8-win season would be on the horizon if that's the case.
Well, I also remember, and I think Jackpot and I talked about this, every year that when Heupel was a head coach, his offense got worse. So they'd come in and they would be on fire. And of course, it's at UCF, but then if you look at it, statistically, they got worse as they went along. Goes to Tennessee, offense is on fire. Now it's ticking its way down. When I read that you had the 8th best passing offense in the conference, I was like, what the fuck? Seriously.
Yeah, again, it's misleading because even with Nico, I guarantee you more than 75% of all those passes that were complete screens and throws behind the line of scrimmage. 75% of them. You could look up the stats. You could literally go and watch a Tennessee game for like 5 minutes and you'll see 2 or 3 screens. And that'll be our offense right there. If it's not just sending Dylan Sampson up the
maybe that's
middle.
part of the problem. Let's just say that Nico's a top 5 quarterback in the conference. Samson was a top 2 running back in the conference, but you didn't have like that electric guy like an Ace Sanders.
I don't mean to be sacrilegious, but like last year, I watched some Tennessee football, and it was boring. In the past, they played an exciting brand of football offensively. Even though obviously I didn't like them, but it was still fun to watch. Last year was boring.
Right. Well, exciting doesn't necessarily win championships or do anything close to that. So no. I don't really care about how exciting we look. I just wish for our offense to look competent at least. Like make it look like we're actually putting in some effort, because we'd be sitting there on like 3rd and longs, and every time it's not a 3rd and 5 or anything, but we literally just wave the white flag. We just say no. If it's 3rd and 8 or any higher than that, we aren't even going to bother. We're just going to throw a screen and then give it right back to the defense. And we played that throughout the entire season after the Oklahoma game, and it screwed us against Arkansas, screwed us against Georgia. And it definitely screwed us against Ohio State. Now, again, Ohio State was playing their A game. Even if Tennessee brought theirs, it wouldn't have made a difference. Ohio State was still winning that. But it looked like we didn't even want to be there is kind of my problem. And that's kind of how I saw every other game, too. We don't – it just looked like we didn't want to be there. The coaching was just – the offensive coaching was just so weak. It's so weak. I hated it, man. I have more joy staring at a rhinoceros' asshole than I do watching that damn offense. Can't stand it, man. Can't stand it. Can't stand something has to change.
Well, I mean, I think you should be able to find some joy in a rhinoceros asshole.
Jesus.
Well,
All
both spew the same amount of shit, so that's all there is to it. Thanks for letting me on the show, fellas.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're gonna welcome in
Jeremy with a dumb comment over in the comment section. He's arguing with somebody. He says Vandy couldn't even cover on that lowly team from Knoxville. Shaking my head. What a joke. I mean, Vols are only ranked a dozen spots higher than the team that Illinois drubbed. GBO. Okay, we lost to them by 4. So, like, that one little statement at the end of your argument invalidates the entire argument.
Yeah.
Well, and to be fair, when you talk about a bowl game that's not a playoff game, I automatically think you're a dummy.
We got drubbed.
Games do not matter. They don't fucking matter.
Wait, does that mean Arkansas drubbed them? Does that mean they got drubbed by
regular
like
season games.
Arkansas?
That was a worthwhile game. But
regular
in the end,
season?
Yep, they did. So did Georgia.
Yeah.
You're not in the playoffs, doesn't matter.
But anyways, good evening, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
We thought you died. Are you all right?
What'd you say?
We haven't heard from you. We thought you died. We thought you pulled a Chris from Georgia.
No, I was watching something up on the YouTube.
We thought the Gamecocks losing by 30 in basketball. You were gonna pull a Chris from Georgia and be like, "Fuck it, I ain't calling it anymore."
I told you when we lost to that fucking shitty ass like Florida, North Florida Gulf Coast or wherever the fuck they were. I told you this was gonna be a terrible fucking team, and crystal ball SEC bias turned out to be right.
Yeah, but they're not terrible. They were within a cunt hair of beating the number 2 team in the country. Now number 1, and tonight they were within a cunt hair of beating the number 5 team in the country.
Sure they were.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, I started thinking more about Eli Ellis coming in. I don't think he fixes it. I mean, he's a slower guard. He's not as athletic as a lot of the guys he's going to be playing against in the SEC. He's a really good passer. He's a good shooter. But, I mean, we just need somebody to facilitate some offense and definitely someone who can make some fucking free throws.
Oh, my God.
So, I don't know what the hell's up with that. And did you know this, Kale? You probably didn't know this. I think this is like the 3rd year Lamont hasn't used all his scholarships and recruiting.
Really?
Yeah, he elevated some walk-on this year.
Doing saving one to wipe his butt with? I mean, what?
I've got no clue. He elevated a walk-on this year who hasn't seen a minute instead of going out and recruiting someone and giving them a scholarship. Yeah. He elevated a walk-on to a scholarship, haven't played a minute all year.
What he put him on a scholarship for if he ain't even play?
That's exactly right. And the fact that he's leaving scholarships on the table. I think he's done it every year he's been here. So I don't get that at all.
I don't know what he's saving it for. I mean, that just bleeds to a lack of depth.
Lack of depth.
Lack of depth. I was telling him that Clemson won tonight by 14, couldn't cover the spread, and I had a parlay with them and the Gamecocks both covering their spreads. And Carolina actually did, of course.
Never bet on the Brownell.
Half a point shy for me. Motherfucker.
Yeah, you never want to bet on a Brownell coach team.
No, you sure don't.
They will find some way to fuck you. I'll never forget him when PJ Hall was
games, but sure.
What'd you say?
They covered the last 4 games, but
dude,
sure.
You're not making March on account of losing to us alone. We're gonna bring y'all down so far. Like it doesn't matter. You lost against one of the worst teams you'll play.
Yeah. The South Carolina loss, just like the football loss, the horrible loss.
Clemson seems to always get lucky in that they seem to always get everybody's worst shot. You know?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with what Clemson did. Everybody else just decided, you know what? We're just going to fuck ourselves against Clemson.
Yeah, we're going to fuck around and find out. They seem to get everybody's worst shot.
Fuck ourselves. I will say there has been a lot of times in the past where I think Wake Forest with Sam Hartman, I think comes off the top of my head. What was it? Sam Hartman was at Wake Forest that year, right? When they had the game and then blew it.
Yeah.
I think there was another one that year too. I can't remember off the top of my head.
They won that game by fucking 30. The fuck are you talking about?
No, there was one. No, there was one. They put up like fucking 50 or something.
It was like 52-49. It was in overtime. It was in fucking ukulele.
That's just the one that comes off the top of my head. And then
it was the only game where he actually threw a forward pass and completed it.
Yeah, I don't like to think about the ukulele. He hurt too many cheerleaders.
Well, who do you think
he won that game?
Yeah. Shit, didn't he have a? Did he ever get an ACC title for y'all? Didn't he win the ACC title?
He was on the team that won the ACC title.
Like he was the starter there, right?
Yeah. He got benched in that game though, where he got hurt or something. Cade came in. Cade won it. Cade won the ACC.
That's like the year before it was
game.
Sure.
Wasn't it Pittsburgh?
It was against a dog shit North Carolina team that was like light years worse than Clemson. Only made it to the ACC championship game because I mean that Coastal. You know how that ACC Coastal was always terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what happened with that.
Well, the worst one was that what was it? Virginia made it 9-3 Virginia.
Yeah,
like that was probably the worst matchup. To be fair to everyone, but yeah, I'm glad they got rid. As an ACC fan in general, Rob, you gotta be glad they got rid of the division.
I'm not a fan of an ACC. I'm a fan of a team. Don't lump me into you.
You don't watch the conference champion. You wouldn't watch the championship if Clemson was in it.
I would watch the championship, but I'm not sitting here and rooting for a conference. I don't do that. I
think you're misconstruing what I'm saying.
Dennis Wilson says we are different.
Yeah. I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're saying what I just watched the conference championship game. I watch all the conference championship games. They're all.
So if you would watch the conference championship game and you won't cut me off and you'll let me finish my fucking sentence, maybe you'll understand what I was saying.
Yeah, stop interrupting people.
As someone who would enjoy watching the conference championship game, I'm sure you would like it to not be a really good team and a fucking scrub playing. I'm sure it's now better that
once again, listen to what I said, okay?
Oh my God.
I don't give a fuck about any team that's not Clemson. I don't give a fuck.
It just went right over his head, didn't it, Kale?
I heard what you said.
He's not understanding at all what you're trying to say.
I'm gonna do my crossword puzzle.
It just went right over his head. He's trying to take something that's not at all a shot and turn it into like some argument.
Exactly. He's trying to make a beef with you when there's no beef. I mean, you're just making a point about the conference, about eliminating the divisions, creating some more parity for a championship game.
Yeah.
Well, I hope what happens is what the ACC, one of the things they talked about, where they take the top 4 teams and those 2 teams, we end up playing, like one of them ends up playing on rivalry week, etc. And we end up getting South Carolina off our schedule. It'll make our schedule better.
That's never going to happen. The SEC won't agree to it.
If we had, here's the thing. Yeah, if they schedule it where it's on rivalry week, the SEC is going to be the one that kills this bullshit rivalry game we have to play with you because they're not going to let South Carolina do it. So hopefully the ACC does that because that would make our schedule better year in and year out. So
the SEC is not going to agree to that. They're not going to get rid of the games between Louisville and Kentucky, the Florida State, and they're just not going to do it.
Yeah,
Georgia Tech. Hey, that's a state law too here.
It's not a state law.
I was under the impression it was.
It's not. You can look it up, but it's not a state law.
I'll look it up.
You don't believe me? Go ahead. You can apologize in a minute.
Why would I apologize to you?
Because you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. I asked a question.
He asked, is it a state law?
It's not a state law. He said
you want me to apologize for asking a question? I mean, fucking hey, you're on one today. Go take a fucking Xanax or something. Jesus Christ. Yes, it is a state law in South Carolina that the University of South Carolina and Clemson University's Division I varsity football teams play each other annually. The law is part of Bill 5117, which was passed by the South Carolina General Assembly. You want to apologize now?
No, I'm not apologizing.
Oh, you're not apologizing, but you were
You
wrong.
apologize.
Can you guys help me out in the
You
comment section?
apologize. You apologize to him.
1, 2, 3, 4. What's a 5-letter word for video game loot container? That one's got me stuck. Video game loot container, 5-letter word. Don't know.
I don't know, but I know a 4-letter word for someone who was so abashedly wrong about something and refuses to admit anything. It's called fool.
Well, I know what a 4-letter word for you is. It's cunt.
Oh, is it?
That's what you are.
Hey, is it a law that the game has to be played though, Rob?
No, it's not a law.
Oh, it's not. Hey, go look up Bill 5117. Might change your
Brock
opinion.
with a good comment here. He says Rob said South Carolina makes their schedule weaker, yet we were one of the 2 ranked teams they played during the regular season.
That was for 1 year, year in and year out. The year before you were 5-7 and did nothing for us. Please.
Yeah, but okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, you were 5-7. Yeah.
It's 1 year.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
what were we the year before that when we beat you? Yeah.
Creek.
What is he looking up? Is he looking at that same bill?
Playing Scrabble.
No,
What?
I'm not playing Scrabble. I'm reading. This is from the state newspaper. I mean, I guess that they're liars. The soccer. 8 years later, let's see here. Nathan Ballantyne tried to lock South Carolina Clemson game into law. It's now in doubt 8 years later. Nathan Ballantyne admits he'd take a different tack. The South Carolina state representative from Chapin area has been approached by a constituent asking if the South Carolina Clemson rivalry was held together in some way by state law in a time when conference realignment signaled an end to some historic rivalries. Ballantyne learned it was not and attempted to change that. Now that I've been there a little longer, I probably would just pick up the phone and call the presidents and the board members and have a discussion. We've got other things we need to be working on. But I mean, I did see a pandemic 8 years ago. The current threat of the rivalry, blah, blah, blah. It's not a fucking law.
Upon request of both schools' president, the SC General Assembly passed a resolution on February 27th.
You can pass a resolution. That's not a law.
Ordering the game to be played, you schmuck.
Do you need a civics class?
Oh my God, he's so foolish. He's so foolish.
Over here
You ask him a question. He sits on this dildo of wrong and he refuses to get off.
His dildo of wrong.
On a dildo of whatever, but in reality, there's the link for this dumb fuck who is so fucking stupid he can't listen to anything.
Oh, yeah, man.
There's the link.
I just hope you didn't have that delivered to the
The
office.
craziest thing is I took zero opinion on this. All I did was look it up, and the first result said you were wrong, Rob.
It's wrong.
That's
There
that
you go.
dildo. You know where that dildo of wrong? That's that purple thing they threw on the court.
That they threw on the
threw on the field at the Auburn game. That's the dildo of wrong. It ended up at the Sanders residence.
Nope.
I mean, holy shit. It's insane. You
can get your hands on some stuff working behind the scenes.
He's on one tonight, man.
That's a resolution. That's not a law, sir.
I'm sorry I asked a question, Rob. Oh, my bad. I won't ask anymore.
Lisa says a resolution is not a law. Okay, we got senators over here in the comment section.
I mean, I can't. This is the problem. This is why our country.
Yeah, you can't ask Rob the questions. That's the problem. Don't pose a question.
And then all of a sudden you're like, well, fuck it, I gotta go and look it up.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, so you're the all-knowing oracle? Just you say it. I don't need to backtrack and look it up at all.
I don't know, Matt. I didn't smell it, but I would hope. I hope it's seen some action. He asked if that was a used dildo that got thrown on the field.
Well, how do you think they got it in, Kale?
A resolution is an opinion, exactly.
That's the point. That's the point.
Right. And again, I'm sorry I asked you a question, Rob. I didn't know.
Okay, well, here's the thought. You should go back and take a civics class and understand the difference between a resolution and a law. A resolution is like coming out and saying, oh, we should have today should be South Carolina Women's Gamecock Basketball Day, which is what they do when they win a national title. And everybody stands up in class and, oh, we should do that. But it's not a law, okay? It's not a law. So stop coming at me with your bullshit. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what
Nice,
you're talking
Rob.
about?
Lisa, over
Hey,
in the
where's your
comment
degree
section,
from, Rob? Did you go to
Lisa in the
Clemson?
comment section
You must
says,
have gone to
"Screw you."
Clemson knowing the difference between a law and a resolution. Did you go to Clemson?
Lisa says, "Screw you, jackpot. Look it up or take a class. You need to calm down and take your Geritol's over there."
You Geritol. Billy wants to help. Can let Billy help? Oh, I'm sorry. There's the link again where shows that it's a resolution but not a law. But apparently we don't know the
Dildo
difference.
gate.
Did you learn that at Clemson, Rob?
Dildo was rude.
I learned the difference between a resolution and a law in high school civics.
What'd you learn? What college did you go to, though? Was it Clemson?
The colleges I went to do not matter in this program.
Was it Clemson, though? You don't have to tell me where just yet. No? Okay.
Here, Billy's going to help you. Billy's going to help you.
Go
Here you
ahead,
go,
Billy.
Billy. Help him out.
Okay.
Hold up. Get you a caramel chew to suck on while I'm
All right,
talking.
shut up. Let him talk.
Muting.
Don't mute me.
Uh-uh.
After I let you go
Let
and
him
it's my
talk.
turn, get a caramel
Let
chew
him
and
talk.
suck on it. All right, go ahead.
All right, let him talk. There you go.
I'm
Go
not
ahead, Billy.
trolling, but I cannot believe. Now, I went to a private Methodist Christian school, Tennessee Wesleyan University. And we have Google nowadays. And if you Google, and you need to do this to see it for yourself, Google, is there a law requiring Clemson to play University of South Carolina? And then you can read for yourself. Y'all are almost on it, but just Google that question
Well,
and
I
see
posted.
what you get.
I posted there that it's a resolution, not a law. But apparently that's not good enough for him.
But what I'm saying is to clear it all up. Just Google, is there a law that requires Clemson to play South Carolina football?
Right. Well, I did that, and it came up with no, dummy. It's a resolution that was put into the House, but not a law. But apparently, he still thinks there's a law.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I had to believe him at first until I Googled it, and then there's sources.
No, it's not. But see, he Googled it too.
Why do we come up with just a resolution and not make it a law? I mean, what's the?
Because
you have to read the paragraph. You have to read it. They thought they would make a resolution to do that, but they didn't. They did. It's not a law.
Yeah,
there's no law that requires. I don't see how they could do that. Now, the state of Florida a few years ago, the late state legislation passed a law declaring University of Central Florida as national champions. There was bumper stickers and license tags. University Central Florida as the national champions. So, but I didn't want to cause any problems. I'm just saying.
Not any problems. He's completely wrong. We're gonna bring him back on, but he just said blah 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 blah, and we can roll it back. Oh, you were wrong, right? No, I wasn't. It's a resolution, you fucking fool.
Well, even that, you're confused. Just go read the paragraph. Just read the whole thing.
This is really kind of splitting hairs.
Just read the whole thing out, and then it'll make sense.
So, anyway, funny. All right, let's bring him back on. Do you have anything else you want to say, Billy? Or are you good?
No, I like listening to Andrew.
Now that the sewing circle is gone, here's the result of my 5-second fucking Google search. I'm sorry I didn't have enough time to scroll through and read every article while I'm live on a show. Holy shit. I take the top result on Google. I assume it's right. You motherfuckers come in, start drilling me a new asshole. Like I held a position to begin with.
Not me.
Not Billy. To be fair, not Billy. Billy was calm. And
you know what, Billy?
I apologize for the sucking on a hard caramel comment. I thought you were going to come
towards me?
Yeah, that was towards you.
It was towards
but
you.
I take it back. But again, I get the first result on Google. Which Billy just said he looked it up. Clearly, he didn't see this. This is my first result.
Why don't you just admit it? It's not a law. That's all there is to it.
I did admit it.
Okay, I know you did.
Now, why don't you admit I didn't take a position in the first place?
I will help you out. You said I thought there was a law that said they had to play. There's not.
Since Rob's on one tonight.
Yeah,
clearly on his period.
Key words. The first 2 words in that. I thought.
Okay, well, don't think before you come in here.
Hey, where's your degree from, Rob?
Here's your link to help you out.
Where's your degree from?
Doesn't matter.
Hold up.
I'm not dealing with him anymore tonight. Jackpot, you got anything else you want to add? I want to go to
You're
bed.
gonna make you mad. Let him come back on and prove his point.
What happened to him? Did he leave?
If Jackpot wants to have it, he can have.
Hey, does he have one of these?
I don't know.
I'm just wondering. Billy, does he have one of these?
I have no idea.
I'll tell you what, Billy, he doesn't. He doesn't. But, you know, he knows the laws around the South Carolina Clemson game. Man, you ask a question, and he just goes off on the rails. I wasn't even coming on to be an asshole, but holy shit. He was just on one.
But you find a way, don't you?
He kicks me, and then he kicks me twice, and then leaves.
He acts like you took your pecker out and thumped him in the head with it.
It's insane, dude. I don't understand where the anger is coming from, man.
All right.
I just came on to fucking talk about some football.
They may be jealous of that hat.
What'd you say?
That's what it is.
Anyway, what were you wanting to talk about? What were you wanting to talk about with football?
I wanted to talk about a little bit of.
He left. Can you believe this? He sent me a text. Text me when you're done, and I will shut off the stream.
It's insane. He's in such a tizzy right now. I don't understand what the issue
do I
is.
need to send him an order of Pampers tonight? Because this is.
I'm kidding, man. The thing is, he wants to dish out everything, and then the second you come back with a single thing, he gets his panties in a tizzy, and he can't handle it, man.
Oh,
it's crazy. At least Billy will clap back. Ronald don't even clap back. He'll mute you, he'll kick you, and then ultimately he'll run away from you.
Well, I was going to show this to him, but since he ran away, I got a care package from the people at the Mazodcast. If you'll remember, I ate the Luther Burden chips. Remember at the
they were good. I tried some.
And I told them, I was like, man, I ate those chips. Well, this is what people do when they like you. They sent me a care package, and these are actually hard to get. They sent me the honey barbecues. Look, they're different flavors too, man. I didn't know it. There's ranch, red hot,
a whole line.
We got okay, well that's some more honey barbecue, I guess. And
the honey barbecue is the one you had, right?
Yeah, it was. And then there's another ranch. Okay, so there's only two flavors. But I got two of each. I mean, holy shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then on top of that, to show that they like you, I mean, they send you stickers. I mean, like I could use those for like little face tattoos.
That's awesome, man. You
have
to send them an Utz care package.
Hey, I got a question.
I need to send him a message. I'm going to DM him on Twitter here and ask him what his favorite flavor of Utz is.
Jackpot.
And get some of those their way. Some delicious Utz potato chips.
Jackpot. Everybody's asked, what did the total winnings come to in the football thing or about? Or about estimate?
Football?
Yeah.
Oh, what, the bowl or the
bowl challenge?
The whole thing, the whole college football challenge thing.
Are you talking about the bowl one or the?
He means the season and the bowl.
Yeah,
both of them. Yeah.
The season was like $3,000. This one was about $1,000.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome. Who ended up winning? Did you win it, Kale?
No, question. Mountain Mama won it.
You didn't need to ask that question.
Damn it. Because Mitch Jeter can't hit something he can't hit a damn field goal from the right hash.
And you know what's bad? Is he's got to go cash all the money and mail it to her.
It looks like a fucking 11-year-old girl. If you saw that, she comes out there. Shout out to the 11-year-old girl who booted one through. They didn't even have to kick that damn field goal.
Mm-mm.
They could have just fucking kneaded out. Fuck Ryan Day's fucking goofy ass bastard for kicking that damn field goal.
What's bad?
Did y'all see that chick?
Kale's got to mail her the money.
Yeah, hey, did
y'all see that? Did y'all see post game that like trainer crashed the golf cart?
Yeah, somebody that ran the golf cart and broke
the fucking. Billy, you might not have seen it. Go look it up. There's a video that they let some girl trainer drive them. It's like Ryan Day, Will Howard, and all the big guys on the team. She crashes the golf cart in the tunnel. Tries to back up, but the whole golf cart's broke. She like broke the axle. She hit the wall so hard. And then they all just have to get up out off the golf cart and walk out.
Dang.
It was actually hilarious, man. But Billy, I want you to come up to you gonna come to the live show next year?
I don't know. I don't
You gotta
know
commit
if I'll
to
be
it
alive
early.
next year.
No, you'll be alive and kicking. Don't
Well,
stop.
we're gonna try to have it here in the upstate of South Carolina. I've got to try to.
Ooh,
I got to get to work on that sometime
That'd be closer
soon
to you,
and
Billy.
find out where we're going to have it here in the upstate. Find out what place can host it for us, since the game is the game's in Columbia next year, but I don't know. You know, we have it in Columbia every year of this show. I mean, it'd be cool to have it somewhere different.
Yeah. Well, I
My
know
son
there's
was at
bars
the
and
game
Pickens.
tonight.
There's plenty of places in Greenville too.
My son was at the game tonight.
Oh, was he really?
Oh yeah, he only lives about 15 minutes from the campus.
How much are them tickets to basketball these days? Did he tell you?
I don't know.
I looked the other day at tickets for the Mississippi State game. You can sit in the upper deck for $4.
That's how much as cheap as Charlotte Hornets tickets are going for these days.
Are they really?
So as a Tennessee fan, I'm gonna come over here and make you South Carolina guys feel good. Tennessee lost to Florida last week by 30 points.
Well, I know. When they're hot, they're good. I mean, and you saw, they were up by 14 points with like 8 minutes to go, and then it totally fell apart.
But when you look at the stats, they were 18% from the field and less than 10% from the 3-point three. And then they lost to the Vanderbilt the other night. The leading scorer on the team, averaging leading scorer in the SEC, Chaz Lanier, missed a free throw to tie the game up. So who knows? I think they're getting paid off by the bookies. Oh yeah, they come back but then they skull drug Mississippi State last night. Although the score looks close, I think they beat them by 14. It wasn't even.
Well, the thing that scares me about Florida is y'all know they've just got like a 7'9" guy just chilling on the fucking bench, right?
Yeah, he's huge.
Was he on the team last year?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
They had some big lurch dude that was on the team last year. I remember at the game. He might not be there anymore. It might be the same one. I couldn't know. Billy, did you see any of the Uncle Lou live stream last night?
No.
Oh my God,
I didn't.
The end of that was epic. Well, I'll listen to his live streams a lot of days on the way to work, or while I'm working. I'll just put an earbud in and listen to it because I can't stay up for those really anymore. But I looked at last night and the duration on it showed it was 4 hours and something. I was like, good Lord, that was a long stream.
Mm-mm.
It was a 2-hour live stream. So some poor schmo called or was in the back room to get on, and he fell asleep while he was waiting to get on. So you know that Lou is going to take advantage of that. So here's the picture. This guy, he's in his bed asleep, and he pulled the covers up over his head. He wasn't just like sleeping on the couch. This guy was out, and Lou puts him on, and he's like, hello.
Oh, no.
This guy doesn't stir, right? So he clicked away from it. So at the end of the stream, when he was done with there wasn't anybody else to call in or whatever, he clicks back on it, and this guy's still asleep.
Oh, gosh.
With the cover still up. And the guy, last one, said, he's like, was he going to get on? He said, yeah. He said he was going to get on the stream. He was like, and I couldn't put him on because there were people ahead of him. He said, and he was awake at one point because I saw him up, and then he sat down on the bed and he kind of propped his phone up. And Lou said, and I'm thinking, well, this guy's just watching the show on there until it's time to get on. And then he just laid down. But this guy was snoring loud. It sounded like a train. So he ends up just leaving him on the screen for like 2 hours, just snoring. He was putting up these little troll videos behind him with these sound effects.
Squidtard over in the comments will know if it was Huff or Billy Paul.
It was hilarious.
Oh, by the way, Squidtard had an excellent call-in. He needs to call in more often.
Yeah, he validated. He said I had good points.
There. The guy, he farted in his sleep at one point while he was snoring. And then Lou was like, I'm just going to leave this up and leave it going. But somebody told him, don't do that because he's like, this guy
It's
might
weird.
actually get up and like in the middle of the night and he might be naked or something. He said, and then I'll end up getting the channel shut down. So he just ended the stream. It was crazy.
A little off tangent, Billy. Did
No,
you know?
it wasn't Hover Billy.
Did you know Kale had such a big TikTok following? Did you see that video he posted?
No,
I didn't either.
I don't do TikTok. I don't.
Well, I'm not on TikTok either, to be honest with you. But by the way, did yours pop back up, Kale? You back up and running?
Yeah, my
Hell
wife
yeah.
is.
Who's
Hers
gonna be the
popped
next
back
food
up.
review?
Hers popped back up.
For Rockabelly 864.
Rockabelly 864. The last one had 100. It's got 183,000 views on that. And that restaurant even created their own TikTok. And they had put up a note that, please bear with us as we try to navigate this. We're getting more customers in because of our TikTok exposure. So we're having a little bit of a difficult time handling it. They said, so just bear with us. They said, by the way, we've got an opening for a dishwasher and we've got an opening for, someone else to work on the weekends. I'm like, holy shit, that's cool. They're only open 3 days a week, Wednesday or Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 11 to 8 or something. I thought, man, it would be cool if they ended up having to start opening an extra day. Because we got some business drummed up. Jerry Wells says TikTok Chess Hall is still around. I haven't seen that dude in a minute. I don't know.
So yes, TikTok came back up later on that day.
TikTok came back up on Monday. Yeah.
Billy, are you I know y'all got who because I know Dylan Sampson ain't gonna be back.
No.
Are y'all gonna be having a similar offense as far as how run heavy y'all were?
Andrew, I have no idea.
You're not sure.
I don't know. Earlier tonight they discussed the preseason polls. There's still a transfer portal. These kids, I don't know how they come up with that.
I think there's 2 more portals, isn't there?
I think so. So I don't know how they even come up with that stuff, but I have no idea.
Notice now anymore with offenses, and I feel this way. Like these coaches don't, like when they tailor the offense a lot more around the quarterback and your skills position talent you've got as to what you're doing. Like when Spencer Rattler was at Carolina became a pocket passing team. Well, we haven't been a pocket passing team in years.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Sellers comes in, we're not a pocket passing team anymore. We're run heavy now. And I don't know. It seems like a lot of them just tailor the offenses around the skill players now. When back in the day, like
you had
Barry Switzer, for instance, you knew he was running the wishbone.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who personnel was.
It's not on college level, but I coached for about 5 years middle school down in Florida. And
did you really know shit, Billy? That's awesome.
Every year I had to change my offense because of what you have. And you're right, you have to tailor around the kids you have.
Any of the kids you coached go college once they got
one did. One went to Louisiana Tech.
Hell yeah.
A kid named Kyle Kazuta. He was really, really good. But I remember one year the principal asked me, he said, Coach Cole, how are we looking like this year? I said, big, white, and slow like we were last year.
How many years ago has this been?
2004 through 2008.
Oh, that ain't that far ago.
Were they allowed to paddle children when you were coaching, or was that already
no
taboo?
No, that was taboo. But
I know you could give spankings. I know when I was in elementary school in the early '80s.
Yeah, you don't do that anymore. And
I know
taught math and had some PE classes and stuff and stuff. But yeah. Believe it or not, I'm certified K through 12 and special education, and
that's awesome. My girlfriend's going to be a teacher, so that's good to hear. And believe it or not, Kale, the paddle would be a lot better than the punishments we got now. Back when I was in high school, when we fucked up, the whole team would have to just go and carry a fucking telephone pole and run it up a hill a bunch of times. Oh. The worst fucking thing you've ever done. Big ass telephone pole, a bunch of high schoolers, dog, and half of them are too short to put the motherfucker on their shoulder.
Jesus,
only
that
the
thing
tall
be
ones.
full of splinters and every damn thing. Yeah.
Oh, it was a pain.
Well,
in
let
the
me,
ass.
having gone to Tennessee Wesleyan up the road here as my senior year,
Where
we
the
had
hell does somebody procure a telephone pole to use it?
I don't know.
you
Dude.
can pick them up on the road all along.
Yeah, they must just pick it up.
Railroad ties. But I would never think of hitting somebody else's child.
Well, I mean, I got a couple of spankings in elementary school. It didn't hurt.
Didn't matter.
It
didn't work. It doesn't.
I coached soccer.
It didn't work. I turned out to be an asshole anyway.
You know what works is when you have to call a parent and say, "Come get your child," and that mom or dad has to come off the delivery routes delivering Utz chips to come get your child.
Oh
now.
yeah.
Now. So, but no, I studied under a guy that, when you pay thousands of dollars, and somebody I talked about corporal punishment, and he got upset. He said, "I thought I've taught y'all better than that you'd have to hit somebody to discipline them." So yeah, I would never think of hitting anybody else's child. There's other ways you can do it. That's just not. And I understand. I got paddling when I was, but it don't work. I mean,
I found when I was coaching Billy, which I don't know if you knew, but I did coach. I found the best approach was to I was just very real with the kids. I didn't sugarcoat shit. When they started, I feel like a lot of times people treat these kids like they got fucking gloves on, and like kids won't understand that they know they're fucking up. Kids know when they're pushing the boundaries. Let's just be honest.
Well, I coached at the middle school that was right next to Niceville High School, which is a very premier school.
That's awesome. You coach football, by the way. I didn't know that.
That was when I was in Okinawa. I helped coach my son defensive backs and stuff. But yeah, it was at a very affluent junior high. It was next to Niceville High School, which I can remember one year my wife and I, after a Niceville High School game, we walked out on the field because it was their last game, and we had no less. After the game, there were seniors on that team, and there were 6 D1 players that we had in junior high in our classes that were going to D1 schools. It's a very, very affluent. They have football practice year round, and the way they get around that is if you're a running back, your PE class, you have PE 4 years, and you have PE at a certain time, and all the running backs go. And their coaches are brought in from all over the United States. There's like 14, 15 coaches. It's not somebody that volunteers to do it or something. They bring the coaches in. It's unbelievable. Well, it's just like at the junior high, the kids over there, like the basketball players, their PE class was weightlifting year round. So after 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, when they walked across the street to the high school, they were already maxed out on their weights. They already, body fat was down, and they were already, they were already ready to go. So sports down in Florida is very different, and there's a reason why. It's how they do it. They get around stuff. It's like I say, the football team, they have their PE classes is football. So the linemen have class, the ends have class, and they have. So it's very different. They wanted me to coach the baseball team. Because several of these kids played AAU ball. I said, no, kid's not going to pitch on the weekend and then come to me, and need him to pitch, and he's already got a tired arm. So no, I didn't do that. So, but I coached my kids for 20, 25 years. So,
jeez.
Oh yeah. They were 8 years.
Oh, not the same one for 25.
Oh, okay. No.
I was about to say, holy shit.
They were different stuff. So I coached a team in Warner Robins, Georgia. This colonel sent his kid to Auburn for $800 for a week or two, and he come back. He said he already knew what you had told him and everything. He said, I should have just gave you the money and stuff. So,
well, I know Kale's got a route to run, so we probably need to. It's getting late.
Yeah, I've got to get up at 2:30.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Rob, if you're listening, dude, I didn't even come on to be mean to you. I just wanted to talk exactly how we're talking. This whole meeting right here is all I wanted to do. All right. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to him this evening. Panties are in a wad. I'm the one who should have my panties in a wad.
Why is that?
I'm the one whose team shit the damn bed and gave the fucking ball game away a while ago. I was angry. You should have seen me before we got on here. I had clicked the link to get the show started up with him, and that was just at the end there when they had hit that layup to win the game, and I was like, shit! And I launched this box across the damn room. I was cussing.
Yeah. Well,
I kicked a pair of shoes across. I mean, I was going off. And he was just sitting here laughing, and I screamed at him. I said, don't laugh at me.
You'll watch this in the future when you're watching a close game. Take the last 5 minutes, and I used to keep the stats and video the games and stuff. We had a lot of stuff, but if you watch the last 5 minutes of a game, it's all about free throws and turnovers, and that will kill you going down the end. And the other thing too is I'm not no head college coach, but the thing about it is when it gets close, I used to tell my kids, and they knew this. They knew this. You're either making a layup or you're shooting free throws. We ain't shooting no 40-foot.
No, not unless you're
like
Steph Curry. Yeah, Steph Curry's ruined the game.
You take the ball to the hoop, make it, or you're shooting free throws. But you got to watch your turnovers, and you got to watch your free throws. And I'll say it every year, and both my sons know this. I coach Simba. The college team that wins this, it's the point guard, just like the quarterback. You can go back over the years, and whoever has good point guards will be in the Final Four. Yeah. If you don't have a good point guard, you're not going anywhere. So I've watched South Carolina a couple of games, and I haven't yet seen who the point guard is. But I'll tell you this: Parrish is from.
Well, he's hurt.
Yeah, and there you go. I didn't know that. But Parrish coached here at UTC. He's a great coach if they'll just be patient. And he's holding those scholarships because if somebody comes to him and says, "I want to transfer," he's got them. I would have no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I knew there had to be some kind of reason.
Well, can you transfer mid-season?
No,
because he has open scholarships right now. It's like after the season has started, he's keeping open scholarships. He's done it both years.
And
he elevated.
Yeah, I'm at the junior high level. I could have carried 15 players, but I always carried 10.
Right. Do you think this have been legal? That kid, the point guard, Jamari Thomas, I think is his name. He's hurt, right? But he was on the bench, and I mean, they're wearing basketball attire. I mean, because it ain't like a football uniform, right? I mean, it's just a pair of shorts and a dang tank top and your sneakers you've got on. I mean, what if he, pulled the dipsy-do on him and stuck him in the game with 2 minutes left? I mean, do you have to report as eligible to play? I don't know how that works.
I don't know. I know college football
now. I bet you with how Vegas has its grips on all of sports now, I guarantee you there's some rule just like it is in professional where you have to report it. I know in football I think it's like the day of you have to report it, isn't it? Or
it's Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday afternoon by noon you have to declare, and dumbass Kiffin always puts probable on
and that's people. Only for betting. That's only for betting. That is the Vegas grips on sports, is the fact that is an actual rule.
You want to talk about a wild play. I remember seeing this play years ago. It's probably on YouTube somewhere. I don't know why I just thought of this. So there was some team was it was just some small college, like a Division III school, and this one team was winning, and they were just kind of running the clock out with just like under a minute left in this ball game, and the kid fumbles the ball like deep. They're close to being ready to go in for another score. He fumbles, and the defensive back for the team that's behind, it picks the ball up and starts streaking towards the end zone. He's going to score a touchdown. He's going to put this team in front, and so he's going down the sideline, and this is by the team that's ahead right now, sideline, and some kid who's on the sideline just steps right on the field and just whaps him.
Hit him with the old Mike Tomlin.
And stopped him, and it tackled him, and he didn't score. So, I mean, what the fuck do you do there?
That's basically what Mike Tomlin did. He didn't make contact, but
Woody Hayes, Ohio State. I seen that happen live on TV.
What was that?
Woody Hayes hitting that
Clemson player.
Yeah.
That was great. That was a pathetic looking punch too. And I remember he was trying to uppercut him, and I'm like, you're hitting the guy with a. I don't remember seeing it on TV. I mean, I was only like 3 years old then, but I've seen the replays of it. He just grabs him by the middle of the jersey, and you can see him
hitting,
whack him. This guy's got a helmet on. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think what's his name? Andre Johnson did the same thing for the Houston Texans with Cortland Finnegan. That's a lesser known one. I'm pretty sure he was just whacking a dude's helmet too. Like, motherfucker, he ain't gonna feel that. But that reminded me, Kale, and this will be the last thing I'll say. I know you gotta go to bed. While you're talking about the guy interfering, the funniest interference I've seen, as far as like a coach or somebody from the sidelines getting involved to like fuck with the game, is Jason Kidd telling his own guy to run into him so that he spills his ice on the court to get a free timeout. Y'all ever seen that? This is when he was coaching. I think he was coaching the Mavericks, and he tells his own guy, bump into me, and he gets his own player to bump into him, and then he just falls over like a movie and like spills his drink with like water and ice all over the court. So obviously they got to stop the game to clean that up.
Remember when Ron Artest? You remember Ron Artest that played for the Pacers?
Yeah,
you're probably a little young to remember that one. You remember when who did he hit, Bill? He was a fan.
He went up in the stands. He went up into the stands. He beat the crap out of people. Some guy threw ice on him or something. He went
up there and he knocked the shit out of somebody. He was nuts, man.
Yeah.
The mouse at the palace.
Barkley was bad at after the game being at a bar. He threw somebody out of a window one time on the second floor because they come up to him mouthing, and he just threw him out of the window. Barkley was bad about doing stuff.
Charles Barkley threw somebody out of a window
out of
on
a
the
bar.
Floor?
Yeah, out of a bar. They were on the second floor, and he threw them out the window and stuff because the guy got up in his face and was mouthing at him and stuff.
Well, that wasn't too smart anyway. I mean, he's huge.
I don't know, but I wasn't going to sit there and fucking deal with idiots arguing with me about the difference between a resolution and a fucking law. He was standing on the picnic table like, what the fuck? Like, it's cold out here. Yeah, it's not cold out there. It is cold.
Kale. Call him, Kale.
Oh, wow.
He was accidentally off.
That was weird.
I know. He accidentally hit the ONOFF button.
How the heck does that happen?
I don't know.
Does he know he's on? That would have been weird if they had, I don't know, if like there'd been some like a nipple slip or something there, you know?
On that note, I gotta go.
Yeah. It's time to go.
Good night,
guys.
Hey, where's Chris tonight?
I don't know.
Oh, I didn't see Chris. Yeah, you're right.
It must be the night he delivers pizza. I don't know.
Oh, get out of here, Billy. Get the hell out of here. Go set up your appointment at the VA, you son of a bitch.
I don't go to the VA. I'm retired. Retired people don't have to go to the VA.
Yeah, that's probably better care outside. Oh, the VA in Columbia ain't that bad. I don't know about in Tennessee. The one in Columbia ain't that bad, but
retired people don't need to go to the VA. I go to a regular hospital.
I didn't know that. Never mind. We don't gotta get into it. End of the night.
Well, what did he say on that? I heard him say something about I'm not going to
argue about. I wasn't even trying to argue with him. I just asked a question, and then
he called you an idiot too. He said
he wasn't going to argue about resolutions and law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob, if you're listening again, nobody wanted to argue with you. As you see how cordial I've been with Billy, this is what I wanted to do tonight.
I just like messing with you.
How do you, Billy? Billy, you know what? You're in my good graces so far, so I'm not going to be mean to you. But good night, fellas. KO, good luck on your deliveries tomorrow. I'm going to go out and buy me a pack of Utz in your name. Billy, you do the same. Everybody in the chat, do the same.
Good night, everybody.
Go Gamecocks. Quarters that sit all the way up to your face until you win a fucking ball game, Lamont.
They need to get an all-weather coat that zips all the way up.
I got one.
They'll be all right.
Just
think about this. Florida beat Tennessee by 30 points. So South Carolina's that right there. Just be patient.
Yeah, we'll get one. All right, Billy.
Good night. Bye-bye.
See ya.